All right, kids, today's lesson is in section 3.2. We're going to use parallel lines and transversals. I went over this a little bit yesterday with the vocabulary. This is extremely important for this chapter. I cannot stress this enough. This chapter is fairly small, but if you do not understand these concepts, then you will struggle. I do not want you to struggle, okay? So postulate 15 states that corresponding angles, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. We talked about corresponding angles yesterday. I will identify the set of corresponding angles. I have angle 1 is congruent to angle 5. They are corresponding. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 7. Those are also corresponding. Then on the other side of the transversal, I have angle 2 is congruent to angle 6. And the last one is angle 4 is congruent to angle 8. Corresponding angles are on the same side of the transversal, but they skip an angle. So 1 and 5, 3 and 7, 2 and 6, 4 and 8. Okay? Corresponding angles occupy corresponding positions. All right, now we have theorem 3.1. Remember, we said theorems can be proven if two parallel lines, notice the little triangles here, that's saying that they are parallel, are cut by this transversal, then the pair of alternate interior angles are congruent. Let's first identify the alternate interior angles. Remember, they alternate over the transversal inside the two parallel lines. So angle 3 is congruent to angle 6 because they're alternate interior. And then the other pair of alternate angles I have are angle 4 and angle 5. Angle 4, they are alternate interior, which makes them also congruent. Angle 5. Okay, so if you want to draw yourself a quick picture to show all the different corresponding angles and a quick picture to show the alternate interior angles, go ahead, pause the video and do so. And what I mean by a quick picture is like what I did yesterday. Here are my two parallel lines. Put my little triangles on. Here's my transversal. So I have, these are alternate interior angles. They are congruent. Okay, next. Alternate exterior angles. Still using the same image from the first two examples. Alternate exterior means they alternate over the transversal, but they're on the outside of the parallel lines. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 8 because they are alternate exterior. And then angle 2 is congruent to angle 7 because they are alternate exterior. All right, and the last one we're going to talk about, right? Remember, corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior are all congruent. They're all equal to each other in size. But the consecutive interior angles, let's read the definition. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the pair of consecutive interior angles are supplementary. Consecutive means one after the next, right next to each other. 4 and 6, 3 and 5. But they're supplementary. Please know, supplementary means adds up to 180. Or 180 degrees. That's what supplementary means. So angle 3 plus angle 5 equals 180 degrees. And the other consecutive interior angles we have are angle 4 and angle 6. So angle 4 plus angle 6 is also equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so let's look at some examples where we gotta solve and plug in and see what we know, right? Let's put what we know to use, okay? Here I have angle, angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles. They're also congruent, but I don't know what either measure is, so I cannot solve for either one. But I can say that angle 1 is equal to 130 because it's alternate exterior. Angle 1 equals 130 degrees, and I'm going to abbreviate. I'm trying to make it degrees symbol, but it's not coming out nice. Okay, so that's just going to be alt x, alternate exterior. Then when I look at angle 2, well, angle 2 is equal to 130 degrees because it's corresponding. So I'm also going to abbreviate corresponding, okay? Beautiful. Let's move on. Number 2, angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair, which means they're supplementary, but I don't know enough about either of them to come up with an equation. But what I do know is angle 1 is equal to 80 degrees because it's alternate exterior. Angle 1 is equal to 80 degrees by alternate exterior. Okay, I do not have a relationship for 2 and 80 degrees here because it's not corresponding. That would have to be in here, and it's not. So remember I said 1 and 2 are a linear pair. So we know the measure of 1 is 80. So 80 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to 180 because it's a linear pair. That means angle 2 equals 100 degrees. And I'm sorry that my pen keeps writing. I don't know why it does that. I guess I'm pressing too hard, okay? So once we had 1, those two are a linear pair. If this is 80, 80 plus 100 is 180. That's why angle 2 is 100 degrees. Okay, so now I have 1 and 120 degrees are alternate interior. So angle 1 equals 120 degrees because it alternates in between my two parallel lines. So alt int, that will be my abbreviation, alternate interior. You can abbreviate 2 or you can write it out, whatever you're comfortable with. Angle 2 and 120 degrees are consecutive interior. They are supplementary. It is also a linear pair with angle 1, which is also supplementary. But because consecutive interior is a new concept, I want to talk about that. So angle 2 plus 120 degrees equals 180. That's what it means when they're consecutive interior. So angle 2, or I should say the measure of angle 2, plus 120 degrees equals 180 degrees because it's consecutive interior, which makes them supplementary. Well, I simply subtract 120 from 180 and I get that angle 2 is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, now we got some algebra. It's going to be okay. So if you're looking at this and you're like, okay, 125 degrees and this expression, x plus 15 degrees, they're not related. You're right. But angle 1 and 125 degrees are corresponding, which makes them congruent. So let's put it together, right? So angle 1 is equal to 125 degrees because it's corresponding. And so since I know this is 125 degrees here, angle 1 and the expression are a linear pair. So we can say 125 degrees plus the expression x plus 15, all of that is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so here we have to solve an equation, okay? I'm going to combine like terms. They're on the same side of the equation, so I just add them together. I'm not going to subtract. I'm going to add them together. 125 plus 15 is 140. Plus x is equal to 180. When I subtract 140, I get x is equal to 40. If we plug that in here, 40 plus 15 is 55 degrees. And just do a quick check. Make sure that 125 plus 55 is 180. Because if it's not 180, then we did something wrong. A linear pair is supplementary. So 125 plus 55, I'm just going to check, and it is 180. So wonderful, we didn't mess up anything. Okay, let's look at some more crazy examples, okay? So I know that angle 1 in this expression, x minus 8, are consecutive interior. They're in between the parallel lines. The little triangles tell us these are the parallel lines. This is my transversal, okay? I don't have enough information to make an equation. But what I do know is that angle 1 and 72 degrees are vertical angles. So angle 1 is equal to 72 degrees, and I'm going to just write vertical. Okay, so now remember what I said, that angle 1 and this expression are consecutive interior. That means they add up to be 180. So 72 plus x minus 8 is equal to 180. They are consecutive interior. They are supplementary. That's why we set it equal to 180. Combine like terms, so I have 72 and negative 8 on this same side of the equation. When I bring those together, I get, sorry, my brain's not working so good. 64 plus x equals 180. I subtract 64 from 180, and I get x is equal to 116. When I plug that in here, 116 minus 8 is 108 degrees. We knew that this was 72 here. And then let's just quick check to make sure 72 plus 108 is in fact 180, and it is. So these are my consecutive interior angles. Okay, number 6. Oh my goodness, now I don't have any numbers. What is happening here? All right, I'll show you what's happening here. Do you see this little box? What does that mean? That means that this is 90 degrees. Okay? And then these are vertical angles. That means that this is 90 degrees over here. Now I have another example of consecutive interior angles. So 90 plus the expression, 4x plus 10, I can leave it in the parentheses or not, doesn't matter, equals 180 because they are supplementary. They add up to be 180 degrees. So we combine our like terms. 90 and positive 10 give me 100. Plus 4x equals 180. Subtract 100 from both sides and I get 4x equals 80. Divide by 4 and we have x is equal to 20. Let's plug that back in. Well, 4 times 20 is 80, and 80 plus 10 is 90 degrees. And 90 and 90 is 180, so that's great. So, I guess you can also assume that if this transversal is perpendicular to one line that is parallel to another, then it must be perpendicular to the other. Okay? Okay, here is your assignment for today, number 11, page 149 to 150, 9 to 24, 27 to 32, 35 and 36. Draw pictures for number 27 to 32, 35, 36. This keeps you from drawing in the textbook. Some of you might already have some fantastic artwork in the textbook, but I want you, the whole point of homework is to practice so that you can master these skills and concepts. So yes, you do want to do this on paper, not on the Google Doc, although I did see one that was really fancy with lots of cool pictures, so maybe that person can do it, but I don't know about the rest of you. Okay, but if you can draw or replicate the image in a Google Doc or some sort of document, that would be okay. I just don't want you writing in the book, because these ones are a little funky to try to see what's happening, okay? Other than that, have an awesome time. If you have any questions, hit me up on the Schoology. Bye!